We're going to unpack some truly eye-opening clinical warnings from a nephrologist with over 30 years of experience. We're looking directly into our pantries today to uncover how everyday kitchen staples might literally be secretly damaging one of our most vital organs.
It's kind of chilling to think about, right? What if the foods sitting in your kitchen at this very moment are silently putting stress on your kidneys? Because the absolute scariest part about kidney decline is its silence. You won't feel it happening. There are no warning bells going off, no sudden aches or pains. Your kidneys can quietly lose function for years, and by the time you actually start noticing symptoms, well, a lot of the damage may have already been done.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The silent filter. 2. Everyday kitchen culprits. 3. Hidden kidney damaging habits. 4. Early warning signs. And 5. Daily kidney protection tips. And don't worry, this is a completely shame-free guide where every problem gets a practical, everyday solution.
All right, starting off with Section 1, the silent filter, your body's unsung hero.
This insight right here, it completely changes how we got to think about kidney health. After treating patients for 3 decades, this nephrologist realized that most problems aren't about bad genetics or super rare diseases. Especially after you hit age 50, kidney health is largely about the convenient, everyday choices we're putting on our plates. It's the foods we reach for just out of habit and comfort that quietly add up over the years.
What's really interesting about this slide is that massive number right there, 50 gallons. To put that into perspective, that's roughly 180 liters of blood. Your 2 kidneys, which are each literally only about the size of your fist, filter that massive amount of blood every single day. They're working while you sleep, while you eat, and while you're watching this explainer. They remove waste, they balance fluids, control blood pressure, help make red blood cells, and even keep your bones strong. When they struggle, your whole body feels it.
Moving right along to Section 2, everyday kitchen culprits, the 7 hidden stressors. All right, I want you to mentally check your own fridge and pantry as we systematically break down these 7 everyday foods. First up, processed meats. We're talking bacon, sausages, deli ham, hot dogs. Look, they're super easy and tasty for sure, but they are absolutely loaded with sodium and phosphate preservatives. When you eat these regularly, that extra load forces your kidneys to work so much harder just to filter and balance your blood. If you already have high blood pressure, you need to be incredibly careful here. The fix? Go for fresh grilled chicken, turkey, or baked fish. If you truly love deli meat, strictly limit yourself to the low-sodium versions and treat them as an occasional treat. Definitely not a daily habit. Culprit number 2, instant noodles. We all know they're cheap and comforting, but a single packet can contain nearly your entire recommended daily limit of sodium in just one sitting. That massive sodium spike raises your blood pressure, which is actually a leading cause of kidney damage. To protect those filters, try swapping them for whole wheat noodles in a homemade low-sodium broth with fresh veggies. But hey, if you absolutely must have your instant noodles, here's a highly effective practical tip. Literally just use half the seasoning packet. You're going to cut your sodium intake significantly just by doing that. Next up, we've got packaged salty snacks. You know the ones: chips, pretzels, salty crackers. They offer almost zero nutritional value but pack an incredibly high salt punch. This regular sodium intake causes your body to hold on to more water, which then raises your blood pressure and pumps up the workload on your kidneys. Instead, try swapping these out for unsalted nuts, air-popped popcorn, or crunchy cucumbers. Oh, and when you're in the store, make sure you read those labels. You're looking for snacks with under 140 milligrams of sodium per serving. Now, food number 4 usually catches people off guard: sugary soft drinks. We usually think of sugar purely as a weight issue, right? Not a kidney issue. But the absolutely crucial point here is this: regularly drinking sugary beverages cranks up your risk for type 2 diabetes. And it turns out, diabetes is actually the leading cause of kidney disease globally. High blood sugar damages the tiny blood vessels inside your kidneys that do all the heavy lifting. Try swapping out the soda for water with lemon, some herbal tea, or sparkling water. And look, if quitting cold turkey is too tough, just start by cutting down to every other day. Coming in at number 5 is processed cheese. I'm talking about those individually wrapped slices and those shelf-stable spreads. These guys are packed with both sodium and phosphate additives. For anyone who already has reduced kidney function, excess phosphates can actually build up in the blood over time, which harms both your bone and heart health. The fix here is super simple. Just choose natural cheeses instead. A little small piece of mozzarella or a sprinkle of strong flavored Parmesan goes a very long way in taste without all that heavy additive load.
Food number 6, canned soups. They feel so warm and comforting, but to keep them sitting on a shelf for months or even years, manufacturers pump them full of extremely high amounts of sodium. One can has far more salt than you would ever use if you were cooking at home. The much healthier alternative is to batch cook a nice homemade soup on the weekend and freeze it in small portions. But, if you really have to buy canned, strictly look for no salt added labels. And make sure you heavily rinse any canned vegetables before you eat them.
And finally, food number 7, highly processed frozen meals and TV dinners. They're heavily marketed as a quick, balanced dinner, but honestly, they combine high sodium, preservatives, and phosphate additives all in one little plastic tray. Eating these multiple times a week creates a pretty heavy toxic load. Again, batch cooking simple meals like chicken, veggies, and brown rice is definitely your best bet. If you really must rely on frozen entrees, check for heart-healthy labels or make sure they have strictly under 500 milligrams of sodium, and always add some fresh veggies on the side to balance it out. And this brilliantly illustrates how these 7 kitchen foods neatly categorize into 3 distinct dangers: high sodium, high phosphate, and high sugar. Understanding these 3 specific categories makes it incredibly easy to quickly snapshot the main threats to avoid the next time you're doing your grocery shopping.
Let's move to section 3 and see how this builds hidden kidney-damaging habits beyond the kitchen plate.
So it's not just the food itself. Many of us add table salt purely out of habit before we even taste our food. Another major issue, and this is something we see a lot with older adults, is purposely restricting water intake because, well, nobody wants to be making frequent bathroom trips. It's totally understandable, but chronic dehydration really strains the kidneys. Then there's pain management. Overusing over-the-counter NSAID painkillers like your ibuprofen every single day actually reduces blood flow to the kidneys over time without you even realizing it. Add in smoking, which also restricts blood flow and poor blood pressure control, and you have a perfect storm for silent kidney damage.
Which brings us to section 4, early warning signs, listening to your body's clues.
I know we said this is a silent disease, but there are subtle physical clues to watch out for without needing to panic. Here's what to look for: swollen feet or ankles, particularly in the evening; foamy urine, and by foamy, we mean it literally looks like soap bubbles, which suggests protein is leaking through your kidney filters; ongoing fatigue, a poor appetite, or maybe a strange, lingering metallic taste in your mouth; frequent nighttime urination; and finally, high blood pressure that just won't respond well to medication. If you spot signs like the foamy urine or that metallic taste, don't ignore it. It's simply a prompt to mention it to your doctor for a very easy early blood and urine test.
All right, finishing up with section 5, daily kidney protection tips, your actionable Empower plan. Let's end on a high note. Here is a concrete checklist of positive habits you can start building immediately. Cook more meals at home so you are the one controlling the salt. Drink water consistently throughout the day. Try to add fresh veggies or fruit to every single meal. Keep an eye on your blood pressure. Limit those daily over-the-counter painkillers. Most importantly, if you have diabetes or high blood pressure, get an annual blood and urine test to check your kidney function. And stay active. Even just a light daily walk supports healthy circulation. Listen, none of this requires a complete life overhaul. Small, steady changes matter far, far more than absolute perfection. Just a really quick but absolutely vital disclaimer before we wrap up. Everyone's biological situation is different. If you already have kidney disease or any other chronic health condition, please make sure you consult your doctor or a registered dietitian before making any major changes to your diet. Personalized guidance is absolutely essential. So I want to leave you with this final provocative question. Which of these 7 foods is literally sitting in your kitchen right now? Was it the instant noodles, the canned soup, or maybe the sugary soda? Let us know in the comments. It really sparks a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for learning efficiently with us today. If you found this structured explainer helpful, please hit subscribe for more focused guides, and definitely share this with a friend or a loved one over 50. It might just be the quiet reminder they need today to protect their health.